while you're living. Good evening, friends. Oh, that's nice. It's nice to see friends returning, friends from across the sea, and friends that have come a long way, and our regular friends, obviously. And good evening to those online. As you can see, it's a bit different tonight. And it's, hang on, I've got a pointer here. I've got to introduce the medium. And tonight, he's not doing this bit, I am. But for your entertainment and to show you that life actually is carrying on. Our medium for this evening, please welcome Nick Brown. I say entertainment very lightly because we're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to enjoy it. It's nearly Christmas, so we're going to have some fun. But before that, I will ask Nick to open the service with prayer, please.
Good evening, everyone. The reason I'm raising my voice is so the microphone can hear my voice because we forgot about that. So, friends, let's join together for one moment. Great Spirit, divine, universal source of all. Thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends. Love, hope, and friendship. To witness your proof and your truth. We ask that the veil be lifted at this time, that our loved ones and make use of that life does go on. The continual love itself. So as we place this service in your care, make a statement that everything we do is in the name of love, truth, and in love.
Thank you, Nick. I've got a list here, the order of service, because last time I did this, I forgot the healing. Oh, boy, was I in trouble. So it says here, next week, we're not here. It's Christmas, I think we all know that. And it says, any special events? Christmas. And any updates? The only update I've got of any importance is Eileen, a member of this church, is in hospital. As far as I can make out, and I've been told that she will be in for a little while. She has to have an operation early in the new year. So when we're doing the healing, please join us and send out our thoughts to her. And Alan, of course, her husband. There's no notices. So I'm waiting for this one. It says Nick's philosophy. Nick's not doing a philosophy. I am. I can see somebody laughing already. Right. We're nearly at the end of 2026. Five. Close, isn't it? At least I got a laugh. Come on. Yeah, we're nearly at the end of 2025, coming into 2026. We've had a year of ups and downs. We've lost some very dear friends. And we've had some new people join us. And they've become family. And we're growing. And it's lovely to see. So I thank you all for support you. It's friends and family at Christmas. Some are saying, I hate Christmas. That's an awful shame. You make of Christmas what you can. If you don't have family to come round, invite friends round. Friends, there's a lot of people, especially as we get to this age, that are on their own. Get together, make a party of it, celebrate together, and you'll be surprised. Those friends sometimes become like family. No. It's memories that you make of that you have over Christmas. Traditions, my mum always used to lay an extra place at the table for uninvited guests, she said. Traditions like when we were young, and these are memories that I carry with me, sitting round an open fire, roasting chestnuts, having so much to eat that the grandparents always sat on the sofa and went to sleep afterwards. I see some people are smiling, they can remember, they can relate to this. It's presents. When I was little, I lay in bed, 4 or 5 year old, waiting for Father Christmas to come. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, after dozing a little bit, I'd wake up, I'd see a stocking at the end of the bed, and it had got fruit, and nuts, and a cracker, some sweets. I was soon into that. But then I looked over and I saw a pillowcase on the floor at the end of the bed, and it was full of presents. So I woke the whole house up, as did my brother. And we were joyous at what we'd got. It didn't matter, it wasn't even expensive because we didn't have a lot. But those presents, it was undoing it and enjoying it. Nowadays, what do? We go downstairs and sit in front of the telly probably, or on our mobile phones, and we open the presents one by one. The excitement has gone out of it. We've got to try and bring that back somehow, because it's the joy, it's the excitement of Christmas. Christmas is a time to get together and celebrate. We're not doing that anymore. But when we're not doing that, we're not creating memories. So the children of today and the younger people of today won't have the memories that we had. We used to, after Christmas dinner, chances are we'd go out and play in the snow, because in them days it used to snow at Christmas. We don't get that anymore. We can't roast the chestnuts on an open fire because chances are we haven't got an open fire anymore. We put them in the microwave and wait for them to explode everywhere. Yeah, we've all done it. Yeah. So it's a time of getting together and celebrating and being happy. Yes, there's a religious side, and if you like to go to midnight mass, the carols are lovely. It really is nice, but that is an individual thing. The main thing is to come together and be happy, celebrate, enjoy it. I've written some pointers here so I don't forget what I want to say. Yeah, it's hard, I know, but look, it's all together. You've chuckled as I've been speaking, and a little smile, even if you're smiling as you go out the door, because it doesn't matter as long as you smile and make the most of what you've got and make those memories, because memories are what you take with you. After you've opened all the presents will be gone in a couple of years, but memories stay with you all your life, believe you. I know, and they're important. So think on, enjoy yourself, have a lovely Christmas, and thank you for listening. Now I'd like to invite Tony to the front. He's going to do a reading because poor old Caroline couldn't make it tonight. So I'll leave it over to Tony.
Why, thank you. It's not often I have to stand in for, but tonight, I don't know when you wrote this.
Long time
Needless
ago.
to say, I didn't, but I've been told to read it, so there we go. There is so much hate and anger surrounding us each day, so let us make a difference in our own very special way. A smile can say 1,000 words. A hug can give out hope. True friends are here to make you smile or just to help you cope. It doesn't cost a fortune to brighten someone's day. Just show them that they matter and take their blues away. Share a little happiness. It only takes a while. And yes, God, I could read her writing. You too will feel the magic and you see them start to smile. The very best of life is free. So share them if you can. It costs so very little, so be kind to fellow man. And what happened? Where was the tree?
Thank you, Tony. And he's not going to go far now because I'd like to ask Tony to lead you all in the healing. And please remember Eileen, particularly, and Reverend Lynn Gibbs as well, please, and Kathy.
Okay, thank you. In a few moments, I will ask you to put your healing thoughts out. And would you please remember these people in particular? John and Helen Stratton, Honey, Roxy, Rocco, Minnie, Jason Scott, Lynn and Kathy, of course, Eileen and Alan, Harold and Ryan, Jenny, Helen and Steve. Thank you. If you would like some close proximity, hands-on healing, please just raise a hand and keep it raised till one of our healers comes to stand behind you. And they're all looking at me wondering which one's going to go. Yeah, thank you. You've still got a couple more. Well, I'll go. Yeah, okay, I'll come over there. And healers, just a few words from me as ever. Great Spirit, would you please send your healing power down through our healers to the people who've requested it? And at the very same time, would you please protect them from anything they don't want to receive? Healers, you know, or ask 3 minutes. It's okay? Okay, you have 3 minutes to do your work, starting just about now.
Spirit, Father, Mother, God, divine source of the universe and great Creator. Here we bring unto you all those listed in all the healing books throughout the land. may please thee to heal them, those we know, those we do not know, those that have no one to ask for them, we ask for them now. Those we know, those we do not know, those that have no one to ask for them, we ask for them now. Be they sick in mind, body, spirit, or soul, that it may please thee to heal them, those we know, those we do not know, those that have no one to ask for them, we ask for them now. We ask for them now. Now.
Thank you, healers. If you can just bring yourselves back, say the thank yous you have to. And as I say every week, thanks to those of you who asked, because you didn't. If you didn't, we would look very foolish. Now, you thought you got rid of me then, and these two thought they got rid of me then. It's traditional on our last meeting of the year that I say a few words, but I've been told off by the chairman tonight, and I'm not allowed to do that. But a week or two ago, I was scrolling through the internet, and I spotted a poem. And I remember Reverend Alan Sutton, who, like me, had a wicked sense of humour. And had he have seen this poem, he would undoubtedly have printed it out and do exactly what I'm about to do, read it out. But before I say anything else, she has no idea. Okay. Nick has no idea, and I might have to make a quick exit.
Doesn't it look strange though that his wife looks more panicked?
I know him better than you do.
My willy disappears in winter. It doesn't like the cold. My willy disappears in winter, but it's really very old. I've tried a willy warmer, but that's no good at all. I tried another willy warmer, but my willy is too small. I tied some string to it one day to keep it by my side, but the knot dropped off and he went away and disappeared inside. It's a lot of people laughing, that's good. I remember in the summer when my willy was so big, I nearly trod upon my willy and nearly snapped it like a twig. But now these days are over and the frosty days are here, and just a hint of a flake of snow makes my willy disappear. I hope the day will come when I will hold my willy in my hand and wave him proudly to the sky as the pride of all the land. That my willy is a tortoise and not what you said.
That's definitely got a Sutton twist to it.
Thanks, mate.
Certainly has.
Well done, buddy.
Thank you, Tony.
You wait till you get home.
Yes. Okay. I'll kill him. Thank you for all the healers doing your work. Thank you to all those that asked, because without you, they wouldn't be able to do it. So thank you. So now it's come to the time in our service where we hand over to our medium for this evening to show you your loved ones are about and hopefully give you some nice messages. So with no further ado, I will hand you over to our medium for this evening, Reverend Nick Brown.
Well, that time has come, as it always does, where your piece is over and you've got to listen to me again. But at the end of the day, you've had a little bit of a break from it. And I want to thank everyone for keeping the dream alive and keeping the spirit literally going. There are some who have seen me work here before. There are some who haven't. And that's really weird to be saying in your own church. You expect to say, oh, you know what I'm like, here we go. But usually I tend to choose the first and last service of the year to be the demonstrating medium, because it saves people coming from a long old way as medium. Of course, now I look around, we've got people who've come from different counties, different countries. So that kind of really defeated the object. But hey, we can have a good old laugh tonight. And I will say this about the way I work. I do enjoy a good old giggle. I like a little bit of an uplift and a laugh. And therefore I connect with people like that. However, when I do have to do this, I will be serious, but it's very dependent on your loved ones as whether I behave myself or not. And so I'll put it on them. Simple and to the point. If you don't understand anything, say no. I'm not afraid of a no. No's are good because it makes me do the extra work to find out why I misinterpreted the words of Spirit and the information that Spirit have provided. But please relax, enjoy yourselves, and know that the one time of the year when Barry is smiling brightly is the one time of the year when I don't do any philosophy. And just for him, we put it 2 services together, because the next service, of course, will be the first service of the year, and it will be same again. But different friends from Spirit coming through. So should I come to you, please answer in a clear voice, yes, no, don't know. Don't feed the medium, I really do bite hands off. But most importantly, have a wonderful evening. And as I say that, I'm made very much aware. First off, I should look down the camera and say, 3 minutes explaining, that's all it took. For those that are in development circle, that will make some sense. There is a gentleman who is with me who does like to have his own way and likes to have a laugh and likes to have a giggle, but also likes to explain things a lot. So combining him and me might not necessarily be the best thing, but we'll see how we go on. This gentleman, as he stands here, he's feeling, and this is not something that I say very often, he's feeling very comfortable. He's feeling very relaxed in terms of this is just the way he was, certainly at the latter part of his existence on the spirit, in the physical world before he went to spirit. He's the kind of person who just is dressed. It's funny, really. He's coming dressed in really, really casual clothes, but they're bright and they're shiny and they're clean. And he's saying, I'm only doing it because it's a special occasion, because in actual fact, I wore pretty much the same thing when I was working. It's just that it was more tatty. The only way you could tell whether I was relaxed or working is because you could see the colour of it. It's almost like I wore the same thing or similar things when I was not working as to when I was. But once again, it was simply a case of you could tell because there weren't any nicks or grazes or scuffs in the things. He feels relaxed and feels someone who's learned, someone who's experienced, someone who's grown and evolved. I feel that the person that he was towards the end of his life is very, very different to the person he was growing up. It's that real coming of age story. He was a wild child. He lived his life. He did things that maybe he would wince at if I were to share them. So he's probably going to keep his mouth shut on that one. But he lived, he experienced, and he learned. As I draw him closer, I'm being made aware of a paternal connection. And I will say, one of the things that he's wearing like a check shirt, and I can see red and dark check shirt. So, like, how would you describe them? It's kind of like a flannel material, a thick material shirt, and I can see him out in nature. Now, one of the things that I tend to do is throw it out when I'm in a hall of people I know, because I don't want to go direct to somebody that I know and lead the information. So I'm now going to say, can anyone in the room understand so far? I did wonder if I was on the back row, but I would have picked wrong. So this is why you throw it out when you know the group. So you would understand that imagery, that connection with the clothing. In actual fact, I don't know whether it was a shirt or you can get jackets that look like a shirt that would have that check on. Right, okay. This gentleman's a bit of a what's it? And he is mucking me about because he says, well, we've done the job now. You're supposed to prove survival. So what's the point of saying anything else? So he is taking the mick. He is taking the what's it. But in a way that is not offensive to this way of life. There are some that would stand there and say, oh, load of old rubbish, blah, 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 blah. But no, he understands the process and he's making humour out of that rather than mocking it. He's finding internal humour that would be inoffensive. And this is what's really important to him because he didn't like to offend in the latter part of his life. I'm drawing reference to, of course, what I said earlier about his earlier days, this coming of age thing. He's also making reference to that fact that it was important to him that people were not offended. He's showing that he reached a reasonable age, he's saying, because I'm going to get myself in trouble working with this bloke because he's instantly said, go on, tell him I was a silver fox. And he's talking about being a silver fox. So I'm seeing the hair and the beard, they kind of beard here that he was showing. It was well groomed and neat, but it wasn't a big old bushy thing, but it was well groomed and neat. And he's saying it all went grey. That I was a silver fox, and there's this wonderful glow about him. I'm also being made aware of April being significant in connection with either himself or yourself. And I'm also very much aware that, I don't know whether this is a memory link or whether you've been up to something. But he's showing me doors, and usually that can mean either a memory link, as in a number where somebody's lived, or it could be something to do with some changes that have been going on. But he keeps saying, what's behind door number 21? What's behind door number 21? So I know that there is a door relating to 21. And so would you understand where door 21 would relate? Right, okay. There's something significant about 21. Because I don't normally get numbers. I'm rubbish at maths. I saw my maths teacher a few days ago. He would testify to that. So normally numbers only come through if they're significant. So there's something significant either with him or yourself about the number 21 in connection with this door. So if it is a situation rather than a literal memory link, then there would be a connection to the 21 as well. He's also finding it funny that he's just drawn reference to your top that you're wearing, the fact that it's got a glowing nose and winking, and is saying, I was like that a few times myself. So I know that he would have liked to have enjoyed himself, his glowing nose and a bit of a cheeky wink. He wants you to know that he is there. He wants you to know that he is watching, and yes, he does give you your private time as well. He doesn't watch everything. He says sometimes it's very, very difficult to watch. And this again is his sense of humor. He says the things that you are. What he's saying to me is, because I'm mixing my genders now because I'm starting to speak what he's saying to me, which is very rare. He said, She's always getting so frustrated and muddling things up, and he's giving me images of you smashing things about and throwing things around, getting really, really grumpy. He says, that's the point where I have to switch off the TV and say, right, okay, I'll watch next episode, thank you very much. He says, just calm, breathe through it, relax, be gentle. And I feel that there's, even though he doesn't come across as that kind of person, there's a little bit of theatrics with this gentleman as well, because he's doing silly voices, and I love doing silly voices. But he's also doing the silly voices as well, because he's making use of that. And be gentle. So he would always emphasize what he's saying with the tone that he's using. He says, you could learn that lesson, actually, because sometimes you don't emphasize the tone that you need to emphasize when you're saying things. And people don't always take you seriously with that, because you're not growling enough when you need to growl, young lady. And he calls you young lady as well. So he says, you need to growl when you need to be heard. He says, use that knowledge of how people would respond to the silly voices that I made and the serious voices that I made. So make sure that when you need to bare teeth and growl, because if you can bare your teeth and growl, you'll never have to fight another day in your life. And that's important, because he doesn't want you having to fight for every last thing you need. But he does say, yes, tell her she does get some privacy, because it's sometimes just easier to switch off and say, all right, I'll let her stop throwing things. He says, even in my condition, he says, I duck. Just, a strange thing to say, I know, but I think he's just emphasizing the fact that he's aware that you get frustrated, and he wants you to just breathe through it and just relax. I also have to tell you, what was that? There was something, it looked like either a brass or a bronze seal. I don't think it was a medal. It could have been a medal, but it looks like a brass or a bronze seal. Rather than a medal, that as he holds it to me and looks at it, there is a great sense of pride, a great sense of seriousness, a great sense of strength, but also in the moment a little bit of frustration as well. And it's more to do with what's being done around what that represents, rather than his own personal conviction towards it. But he's smiling again. And it's good news, he says, because everything always works out in the end when people stand up and be counted. So he wants you to know that that's your message, to stand up and be counted. And when you do that, everything works out in the end. So I'll leave his love with you and say, God bless and thank you for listening. No, I'm looking around thinking, can I pick on somebody? And they're like, no, throw it out again. No, okay. May I come to you, please? Right. Don't panic. I'm aware of a lady stepping forward here. And as she steps, oh, hello. Okay. I like it when they step really, really close, because I suddenly stop feeling like myself and feeling like somebody else for a minute. And that's really, really nice. I'm made aware of this lady coming forward. And the first thing that I feel as she stepped forward, I'm becoming somewhat more graceful and somewhat more gentle in my movements and my gestures. With this lady that's stepping forward, I'm very much aware that there's almost something a little bit ethereal about the way this lady acts and moves and talks. But I also know that she was very much down to earth and human. And I know that there would have been some issues with her hands, because suddenly I felt this kind of like arthritic twitch in my knuckles here. There is a maternal emotion with this lady, and I know that very much this ethereal and gentle action and behavior that she's coming through is very much her way of behaving in public. that she had two, not two personalities, but two personas. One was the graceful and elegant outside lady, and the other one was the down-to-earth and earthy indoors lady, because she would still be that elegance and that peacefulness. But rather than, wafting about in front of everyone like now, with this lady, I just want to grab that chair, pull it close, and just sit next to you and place my arm on your forearm and say, right, okay, let's sort it. And it's that kind of attitude that I feel is so important with this lady. As said, I feel it's a maternal connection. Can you understand any of that? Not sure is a good start. Right. Would you understand that now I keep saying maternal over and over again, so I do feel this is a mother's side maternal connection rather than, a father's side. So I'm going to the mother's side. And I know that this lady, I've got to say, and I know this is the second week in a row I've drawn reference to what she's wearing, and I know I'm risking getting my head kicked in, but she would absolutely love to wear something like Eunice is wearing, because it's free flow. Not necessarily I think she was more block colours, but the shape and the design of it's freeing. She didn't like being restricted. I feel that there was a time in her life when she'd wear things that were quite tight, and I know she didn't like it. She'd much rather be relaxed and free. So something that hangs gently and gracefully and it allows her the ability to move rather than being restricted. And I know that there would have been, in terms of her physical condition, there would have been a lot of coughing towards the end of her physical existence. Because as I said about being restricted, I put my hands there and I felt like I was going to cough. And I feel that she would have held a handkerchief in her hands as she did that, and she would be very like bring her head down and cough into it rather than bring it up, because this is a lady where discretion was important. Is that making any more sense to you now? Lovely. Right. Because this lady is kind of coming forward as if to say, surprise. Thank you. She is helping me out as a medium, because obviously we have spoken once, and I would be aware of certain things. And she wanted to be the one to come through to say, see, there's more to it than meets the eye. And not all of them are out to make use of what they know about you to make themselves look better. This was a lady of caution, though, because there are some, so do still be careful. She's actually quite proud of your discernment. Would you understand that she would be very pleased that you are extremely discerning and don't suffer fools gladly? I feel that this is something important to her. Because she's saying, I wouldn't have anyone I know be taken for a fool. And as the etherealness is starting to drift and waft away here with this wonderful sense of strength and determination that I feel would go hand in hand with the hand on the arm, nurturing, let's sort it out. Because it's not about being soppy. I don't feel that there was ever any soppiness with her. It was about being practical and fixing things, being practical and repairing things, being practical and sorting things out. And I do feel that I should be wearing my glasses right now. I do apologise, madam. I feel like I'm being told off by this lady coming in, because it's let's sort things out. And it's that kind of drawing the focus. Oh, hello, I can see you properly now. It's about drawing attention to the situation and through it, rather than running and hiding from it. And also going back to this discernment. Nobody in my family would ever be taken for a mug. Sorry, I'm not allowed to say mug. It has to be fool. She doesn't like, which reminds me, she wasn't overly impressed with the smashing time. There seems to be some kind of memory link here. Give me a second. Either connected with herself or you yourself. There seems to be some kind of memory link where there was a shelf where there was loads and loads and loads of stuff put on it, and it didn't stay up very long, and there wasn't much left that could be used again. It feels like everything doesn't spring to mind. It feels, I'm seeing this, it's a long shelf. It looked fairly well put together. I've got a feeling it wasn't. She just called it a smashing time. So if you have a think about it, don't overthink it though. But if you can place it, it would be great, because she's talking about not everything in life is like this shelf. Not everything in life is like that shelf, in terms of there are things that people do where they throw things together. There are things that people do where they stand the test of time. With this lady, she's also, I know that smell. It's the first flower I ever smelt properly and consistently in my life. I spent some time before I became a baker as a florist. She keeps bringing forward this huge bouquet of, have you ever heard of stargazer lilies? She keeps bringing forward that really, really quite pungent and powerful smell, but also the way the pollen stays on your clothes forever and a day. And she says, I can have them now and not worry about the pollen, because I don't have clothes for it to stick onto, but I can smell them and enjoy the beauty without the risk. And I think this is what she wants you to know. There is beauty without risk in this world. I keep asking if she brought, this is me talking now. I keep asking if she brought any with her, because I so much want to be able to. And saying no, because that wouldn't prove anything. But what she did is, will you please put the rolling pin back in place? So obviously there's a pass on there. Would you understand that you've been moving certain items that would cause a little bit of annoyance? That's the message that's been passed on via her. Just to say, I am watching, because they always are. So I'll leave her love with you and say thank you for listening, and I hope that helps. No, she's not. Sorry, she's not done. This is actually, in all seriousness, I painted her in a very positive light, but she is one of those kinds of people that, as you were about to leave, she'd give you a bit of a Columbo moment. Before you go, and what should take 5 minutes to leave the house would probably take about 20 or half an hour, because everything was remembered at the last minute. And just before she's, I love the T-shirt. I can't actually see what's on it, but she just said, I love the T-shirt. And there's a real naughtiness about that as well, as if to say it's probably not something she would have perhaps got away with wearing or doing herself. Oh, that's cute. Of course. Yeah, it might not have been something that she would necessarily have worn herself, but she thinks it suits you, and it's absolutely spot on, she says. So I'll say God bless, and hopefully she'll let me carry on now. God bless, and thank you for listening. Oh, okay. I think this person's borrowed the rolling pin. I worry where this is going. I've just had this lady. It's Christmas. Why are you doing this to me? Okay. I did say that I like a bit of a laugh, but this is quite worrying. I just had this lady step forward, And she said, speaking of rolling pins, and I kid you not, she got one in her hand and she went boom on the table. She, I will make myself heard tonight. And I do feel that there's this real strong sense of personality about it. She is a firebrand. This lady, as she steps forward, I feel that she would have been on the comfortable side, probably around about the same height as me. Her hair is really, that's really, really strange. I don't quite know how to describe that. I've never seen that style before. Hello. Um, it's some kind of plait, and I can see a braid or a plait or both in her hair. I can feel that there's something going upwards. Is the only way I can describe it. She has got this real sense of authority and worth about her. She is dressed as though she is ready for action. There is a bit of a pinny around her. I think that ties in rather well with the rolling pin. I will say, when she hit the rolling pin, I did see the flower come wafting up. So I know it's well used. And I feel that this lady, as she steps forward, would have definitely been the matriarch, the authority, the one that everyone listened to. But ironically, the one that everyone went to. She was someone you didn't want to wind up and upset, but equally, you absolutely wanted her in your team and watching your back when things went awry. And this sense of strength and authority in this over-exaggerated sense of was part of her charm, actually. It wasn't something that... If people didn't know her and she did that, they'd jump. The people that did know her would just sit there and smirk as if to say, here we go again. Can anyone understand a maternal link like that? So, motherly connection. You wouldn't understand a grandmotherly figure like this, would you, sir? There's something about the hair that I didn't describe right. I can't describe it because I know what I saw, but I can't put it into words. But it's almost as though there would have been this kind of twisting or braiding or something. No, okay, that's all right. Because I'm trying. She said go backwards, and I'm like, okay. Go backwards, put your glasses on, maybe. Hang on. Oh, I know what to do. I haven't done this in a while. Right, these glasses I can see you all with. These glasses are my glasses that I use to see spirit with. I got them from Spooksaver. You know, thank you. You're the first congregation that's actually laughed at that joke, and I have used it a lot. I do feel I'm on the back row. I keep... There's, not necessarily her name, a Marge or a Margaret or a Margie sounding name. It sounds similar. Not necessarily hers, but in connection with it. And also, she keeps talking to me about wires, as though there's something within the family about being wired up and cables and connections that might either have been something to do with someone's job or what's going on around whoever you are right now. Right. Would you understand this? Listen, I'll be honest. Do you know? Do you know Rosemary Schrager? Her personality puts me in the mind of a bit of a Rosemary Schrager in the terms of she's funny, she's uplifting, she's a giggle, but don't mess with her because she will rattle the rolling pin on the table. Only if it's true. Are you sure? Right. the cables, the wiring, would you understand that that's something very current and present with you right now in terms of things having to be fixed or rewired, or there's cables laying everywhere, or there's just, all I keep seeing everywhere is just runs and runs of cables. You wouldn't be one of these individuals who has a bit of a rat's maze of cables in the corner, would you? No, because there's just something about cables everywhere. And I need to understand what that is. I'm going to leave the cables for a minute. I'm sure I'll come back to it because I usually do. But there's just something in connection with either yourself or herself about lots of cables being everywhere and wires all over the place. And it seems really, really important. It doesn't seem to be landing right for me. So I'll tell you. Would you understand that there is a February date that is significant personally to you, that means a great deal? Would you also understand that the watch that you are wearing has a lot of significance emotionally to you, or there's one that has the same style and look to that this lady perhaps would have had? I want to say that it would have maybe been a brownier. Hang on. There's a brown strap to it, and I don't think it would be as sparkly. No. I don't think I'm with you. It doesn't feel like it's... I'm not going to force it on you. I really need to... There would be somebody here... Ah, yes, thank you. Cheers, darling. There is... David is on the earth plane. There is a David on the earth plane. And he needs the rolling pin. He needs the rolling pin treatment. So somebody here would know of a Dave or a David that needs a bit of a rolling pin treatment.
I didn't know my grandmother.
Right. 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 Nothing about cables. Right. And did you say there was a possible... Right. But what about the rest of the stuff? Right. Okay. May I work with you a second? Because I feel like... Right. Let's forget about the cables a moment, and just see what else she's got to say. Yeah, I really... That Rosemary Schrager effect of the... Yeah. And I feel that there's this something about the way she wouldn't... And this is probably something you wouldn't know, so I'm just going to give it and drop it and move on. But... I don't know whether it carried on in the family is why I'm saying it. There's something about the way jaws get clenched. It's almost like the way the jaw gets clenched and teeth get clicked. It's almost like that would be a bit of a family tradition almost when you need to show your frustration. It's something that she would have done, but she passed it on. And it's almost like it would have carried on down the family because it's just this clenching of jaws that seems really significant. Yeah, but there's so right, okay. You would understand from what you know about her that she would potentially be a bit brutal. And she had very exacting standards in terms of the way things were to be done and the way things were to be left. and that she would ask me to give you a tea towel and say, when you get home, clean it up, please. Yeah, and I feel that about her. Yeah, Brown. Thank you. You are being made use of, and you're only, in my view, about 3 inches out. So I'll have that. Right, okay. She keeps talking about household stuff, like, I know I mentioned the cables and you can't place it, but she's now talking about pipe work and valves, and I feel this is around you. Something about plumbing. And please don't let it be along the same lines as, him going off on one with a reading and it means something else. But, there's something about plumbing. Right, okay, I'll have that because that's copper pipes. So she's just, she's getting bald fist. Will you stop procrastinating and just sort it? Because although you're quite a large in height gentleman, I feel that even though she could have looked, she would still have you on the floor. And it's just such a great one to have on your side, actually. And as I look at you, I do feel a great deal of joy with this lady. She is deeply proud of you. She's deeply uplifted by you. It's just that the niggly little things are really, really, really peeving her. And I had to be very quick with that one because she was trying to say something else, but she was peeved. And she wants to bring forward this sense of keep the momentum, keep the momentum going. To train now, you would also understand that in connection with her and her side of the family, there is something about trains, because I felt this connection to trains coming as I kept saying, keep the momentum going, keep the momentum going, keep the momentum, and I feel like a train. And so I'm drawn to the idea of the going along the tracks. So either it's a memory link or it's something significant. Right, okay, because it's that it's just that's the way you've got to be. And even standing here, I feel like I'm a blooming train engine now, wheeling away, because there's no way I'm ever going to be a skier. She has got a sense of humour because she says, "You and me both, love," and there's this real guttural depth about this woman. When she has had enough, the voice just drops, and she is upbeat with you. So please don't think that this is a roasting. Please don't think that this is a ticking off. It's a cautionary tale of I am here and I am watching and I'm proud of you. So keep the momentum going. In relation to oh yes, okay. There are certain things that you cannot write off right now that you have to do and have to deal with. But if you can leave it, just write it off until the sun comes back. You've only got 4 days before it starts winding its way back in. But she drew me to the sunflower, and that's very significant spiritually and in terms of the annual thing. The sunflower is really, really important to her as well. I do feel that either some clothing or furnishing or somewhere around the house, there would have been these really interestingly designed sunflower designs somewhere within her home because she did love the brightness of it. And she's saying, I hated winter because I couldn't get out there and get what I wanted. Would you understand that she, as well as being pretty decent in the kitchen, she actually primarily grew a lot of her own stuff. Right. Right, because she didn't like the winter because she had to go out in the cold and have things buried underneath the... Oh, she's reminded me of what Grandad used to do. They'd dig a big hole and put a bin or something in the ground, cover it up and put the lid back on and then cover it up with carpet or something. And they'd keep the taters and stuff in there. She said, I hated that. I'd much rather be out half an hour before cooking, yanking... She said, this is not a lady who was gentle at taking beans off a vine. She'd yank them off. This is a woman who would rip them off the stem. They're going to get mushed up and chopped up anyway. They don't need to be perfect. And this is important for you. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be used. And I will say God bless and thank you for calling out. I usually jump from side to side, and I haven't tonight. I apologise to you all for having to put up with me rattling in your ear. May I come to you? I am drawn over here. I actually felt the pull a little while ago. Okay. You would understand that your family tradition is very much, let's not beat about the bush and let's just dive in feet blooming first. Thank you very much, love. As I make a connection, I haven't got a gender yet, interestingly enough, but instantly the first thing that came to bear was this pain right here, and it was quite consuming. I was very, very good at covering it up, but there were times when it caught me out, and you would notice that grimace and that wince, and that I was also very, very good at turning to the side as if like, right, because if I have to grab hold, I'm turning away from you to make it look like I'm just doing something else. I'm also very much aware that that came with a lot of breathlessness and nausea. Again, I keep asking for a gender, but I'm not getting it. So I'm just going to plow through what I do have. Tip for anyone who's developing. Don't ask, don't force, just open your gob and let it flow out, and they'll give you it when you're not asking for it. She loves your trousers. She loves the fact that it's sparkling. It's about blooming time as well, she says. Not something that I would have pulled off myself. And she is giving a bit of a frown as if to say, surely that rubs on the furniture. Have you not caught the fibres of your sofa or something? And she's getting really, really annoyed about it now. She looks lovely, but come on, is that really practical? And she gave a little bit of a grin and a wink at that point as if to say, this is a lady who would literally create for the sake of it, just for entertainment purposes. You said about entertainment earlier. She would cause a stir just for entertainment purposes. And, oh, hello. As much as I'm drawn to you, her eyes just flickered to the side, as if to say, and I love a good row. And it's kind of like this, as if to say, I love a good row, and I'm aiming it at you now. So I feel that she didn't... Look, what's that thing me or please? But I don't know. There's a saying about something or please, and it's the opposite of whatever pleases. She would still say what she wanted to say. And if people didn't like her sense of humour, that just made her push further even more. It was kind of like a red rag to a bull. Just been told off for my posture as well. I'm not going to talk through someone who slouches. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. But this is all part of her personality. Certain things were done in a certain way. And if I'm going to be standing up here and talking to what was that? I'm going to be standing up here talking to my special one. My special one. That's how she describes you. Because you gave as good as you got. And because you perhaps are the only one who really genuinely understood her. You might have thrown pots and pans at each other sometimes in terms of your relationship, but she actually respected you for having some strength. No, they never do. But there was a lot of respect for you because you had gumption. Now, there's a word I ain't heard in a while. You had gumption and you had the guts to fight back. There were times that you didn't push the sore spot. She liked to push the sore spot to see how people would react. And a lot of people failed because they never gave as good as they got. The ones that she was gentle with, she didn't actually have so much time for because they weren't as much fun. And seriously, would you understand that what she's saying to me here is, towards the end, all I had was the fight. And you didn't mollycoddle me. You didn't treat me like a child. You didn't regress me into my baby state, as others did. And she wasn't actually happy with that. What she respected was being treated like a human being and an adult. Would you understand? I just suddenly got this really bad throbbing pain in the back of my calf. And it was like, oh. And I think it almost feels like everything just got too much. And it pushed her over the edge. But she's like, she's describing herself like one of those heroes or villains on movies where it takes like horse tranquilizers, a tank, a jumbo jet, and 3 armies to bring her down. And that's kind of the way she's portraying herself. It took a lot, but eventually it won. But boy, did I give it a good fight. And that's why, again, she has time and respect for you, because you give a good fight. Please don't change. Please don't soften. And please continue to treat people the way they should be treated rather than mollycoddled. Because I respected you more for treating me normally and not wearing kid gloves. It meant the world to me. I'm not going to apologize for not saying it while I was here. So some things don't change. No. And in actual fact, the reason she's not going to apologize is because she respects you too much. I'm not one for platitudes. And I did what I did. You know, so we just either deal with it and move on, or we spend our life going round in circles. And there were so many people going around in circles with her that she was getting really up about it. And I can feel her blood boiling, actually, because she did have a temper. Because I can actually feel the fire building up with this lady, as if to say, there are people that really did get my goat. And they knew it. Think about how she spoke to them, and then notice what's missing in the way she spoke to you. She spoke to you with honesty and a depth, but with her, with the ones that really annoyed her, there was a narrowing and a teeth baring that was missing from you. Yeah. So she wants you to remember that as a sign that what she's saying now is absolutely true. I respected you, and I still do. So keep it up, keep fighting the good fight, And if anyone tries to deal with my special one, I'll be watching. Blue flowers. I just got this vision of blue flowers coming in. They were my favourites. Would you understand that?
Yes, yes.
And that's why I give them to you as a passing. Oh my word, I'm sorry. I'm passing on the torch.
Oh, okay.
Be a bit more like me.
We want to talk to me.
Well, somebody wouldn't be given a choice, would they? There's something about putting men in their place with this lady, because she keeps looking at you, use you as a kind of a, we'll deal with him when he needs to be dealt with, and the rest of the time, yeah. But I do feel that, thank you. There is a unique sense of honesty coming through with her right now that I have to share. It's not that I was a man hater. It's just that men didn't treat me well. Some memories are harder to let go of than others. But again, you always stood up for yourself and gave a good run. You weren't as good as she was, though. Thank you for looking after her. Not that you need it, I know, but it's there anyway. I don't know what she felt about spiritualism, but she certainly says you need to be wearing that more often, young man. I'll leave her love with both of you and take the blue. As much as I've given the blue flowers as a memory link, I need to say you are going to see them again very soon. It's almost as though you are going to get the confirmation of this. Those flowers will turn up in some way, either fields of them on the TV or a bouquet of them or a picture or on the internet or something. But you are going to see these flowers again soon. When you do, just send me a thought, she says. Because in spite of it all, there is this soft frailty about her that she kept well guarded. Let your guard down a little bit more than I did, please. And I'll say God bless and thank you for listening. And I can feel the eyes of the chair burning upon me. It's not very often I get that. Thank you all for continually supporting this church, this group, this centre. I know you have to put up with a lot from me, going off on one and getting in a rampage and endless philosophies and opening prayers and closing prayers every week. Shut up, you. But it really, really does mean a lot that people keep coming back for more. Thank you for being a part of this. Please remember that in the weeks and months and years ahead, this is not my church. This is not Eunice's church. This is not Tony's church or Mother's church. It's our group. You are the church. You are what we are here for. You are the reason we come out in the middle of winter on a Thursday night rather than watching EastEnders or Coronation Street or whatever happens to be on tonight. Thank you for supporting it, and remember that as you are this church, if you've got any thoughts, ideas on things that you want to see done or tried or do open mouths and speak. We will hear, we will listen, we'll always try something once. But most importantly, have a wonderful Christmas, an absolutely raucous and uplifting New Year. And remember that come the 1 o'clock in the morning on Boxing Day, I will be unavailable for 3 hours as I get caught up on Volume 2 of Stranger Things. But other than that, I'm here for you. So God bless you all. Thank you for listening, and thank you.
Thank you, Nick. It says on here, closing thoughts. The first closing thought I've got is when he mentioned my attire. It was much better tonight, Nick, than what it was last week when he referred to me as a tree.
No, I had said how very tree-like.
He tried to wriggle afterwards, but
Of
he
course I do.
looks like a tree. So tonight was a lot better than that. Anyway, he had some nice messages. I think you all got some nice messages tonight. So I'd like to give you a round of applause to Nick for coming here and letting you know spirit around you. Before I close, I've got a couple of thank yous as well. First of all, I'd like to thank Nick and Linda for all they've done throughout the year, holding this place together. With a little bit of help from some people, but in the main, it ain't easy. So, Nick, a huge thank you to you and Linda. And secondly, I'd like to give a big thank you to Tony, because he's been running a healing circle for the last year or so. And he has brought on some very, very good healers.
Yes.
About 5 or 6 of them. And they have turned into excellent little healers. So to all the healers, I'd like to say thank you. And for Tony.
Eunice, somebody at the door that is trying to get my attention, so I'll be back in a second.
Okay. I'm just trying to get Nick's attention. So, yeah. So I'd like to say thank you to everybody. And Tony's making a gesture at me. I'm not quite sure what it's for.
Just wondered why I've been given a microphone.
He's had to go outside.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you all for coming. I hope the people that have come from across the water have enjoyed it. It's certainly been a bit different. It's nice to see so many of you here, actually, because we didn't think the last service of the year is normally not particularly well attended. So thank you all for coming out. I hope you all have a lovely, lovely Christmas and a good New Year. And we're doing this all again in January. So if you're about and you want to come, we might even bring some cake. Start the New Year off as we plan to go on.
8th.
8th? The 8th. So I've been reliably informed, I hope.
Oh, I'll let you have that one, but yeah.
And I'm sure everybody at home, all the people that he's got in his circles, have been watching his mediumship very closely and marks out of 10. And I dare say we'll hear about it all next week. Yeah. But until then, thank you ever so much. And once again, for Nick. I'm now going to ask Nick if he'd close the service with prayer, please.
Of course. Well, friends, one more time into the breach and one last time together. For the 2025, we send out our final prayers as we say, well, at least collectively anyway, of course. As we say, Great Spirit, divine universal source of all, we thank you. We thank you for the opportunity to unite, to blend and become one as a collection, a group, a community, and a sphere of light that shines upon the earth. For we must recognize, and we do recognize, Great Spirit, that in times of need and difficulty, we can be of service, we can be of support and of help to each other. We recognize that the message of the earth and nature at this time of year is about bringing forward the light. And we recognize that we must equally be that light. But of course, in times of need and great struggle, we do not ask you to move the mountain, but simply give us the strength to climb. And in that note, I say, Great Spirit, I ask for a blessing to be placed on each person here present, the friends and families and loved ones that are represented. I ask for all those in all the healing books, and in particular those names mentioned tonight, be blessed with love, upliftment, peace and prosperity until we meet again in your name. Amen.
Now we've got to say cheerio to those at home.
Oh yes, I better do some work,
Who's
can't I?
the loudest voice, Nick?
What she's saying is who's got a gob on them, and
Yeah.
that would of course be me, I'm assuming.
I was being polite.
Yeah.
I was being
So we are going to say goodnight to everyone online. Thank you for also for supporting us throughout this year. It's been an absolute pleasure. Have a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year yourselves. But for now, from all of us here, for the last time of 2025, from all of us here to everyone out there, after 3, 1, 2, 3.
Good night.
And God blessings to you all. Night, night. And we're going to have a raffle and a cup of coffee.